Taylor Swift woke up for the third morning in a row with her stomach churning, a wave of nausea twisting through her like a storm. The clock on Travis's nightstand read 6:42 a.m., and the soft November light was just starting to spill through the curtains of his Kansas City home. For a moment, she tried to breathe through it, but the second she sat up, the nausea won. She bolted to the bathroom, her bare feet hitting the cold tile as she dropped to her knees, clutching the edge of the toilet. When the sickness finally passed, Taylor sat back against the wall, her heart pounding. She tried to piece together what she'd eaten. Maybe that's sushi from last night, or the late-night pizza with Travis and Jason after the game. But deep down, somewhere she didn't want to go yet, she already knew this wasn't food poisoning. It felt different, terrifyingly familiar in the way her friends had once described. By the time the sun was fully up, Travis was already at practice, and Taylor had forced herself to eat a slice of dry toast. She sat at the kitchen island scrolling through her phone, trying to distract herself from the gnawing worry in her chest, when the front door flew open. "Uncle Travis! Uncle Travis!" The familiar voice of Wyatt, Jason, and Kylie's oldest daughter rang through the house. Taylor's heart lifted for a second before Kylie's tired voice followed. "Wyatt, honey, remember? He's still at practice." Taylor smiled as she looked up to see Kylie stepping into the kitchen, juggling a diaper bag, 3 lunch boxes, and the kind of exhaustion that only moms of little kids wear like a badge of honor. Behind her, Wyatt, Elliot, and little Bennett burst into the room like a wave of sunshine. "Aunt Taylor!" Wyatt squealed, racing across the kitchen and throwing herself into Taylor's arms with the enthusiasm of a 7-year-old who hadn't seen her favorite person in at least 3 days. Taylor laughed, catching her mid-jump, and immediately regretted it. Her stomach lurched, a sudden rush of heat flooding her face. She must have made a grimace because Wyatt pulled back, studying her carefully with those sharp little eyes that noticed everything. "Aunt Taylor, are you sick?" she asked softly. "You look like Mommy did when she had Bennett in her tummy." The kitchen went silent. Kylie froze in the doorway, her eyes darting between Wyatt and Taylor. The words hung there like something sacred and dangerous all at once. Taylor swallowed hard, forcing a smile. "I'm fine, sweetie. Just a little under the weather." But Wyatt wasn't convinced. She tilted her head in that blunt, innocent way only kids could. "Aunt Taylor, are you going to have a baby?" The words hit Taylor like a jolt of electricity. Her hands trembled around Wyatt's tiny shoulders. Before she could say anything, Kylie jumped in, her voice overly bright. "Wyatt, honey, that's not a polite question to ask. Come on, let's go play in the backyard with your sisters." The girls ran off, leaving the room in a heavy silence. Kylie turned back to Taylor, her expression softening with quiet understanding. "Taylor," she said gently, walking over to sit beside her. "When was your last period?" Taylor's throat tightened. I don't know. I've been so busy finishing the album, planning the wedding, traveling back and forth. I didn't even notice until this morning when I realized it's been over 6 weeks." Kylie nodded slowly. "And the nausea? 3 days now. Every morning. And I can't stand the smell of coffee." Taylor gave a broken laugh. "That's insane. I live on coffee." Kylie reached over, placing her hand over Taylor's. "Have you taken a test?" Taylor shook her head, tears forming in her eyes. "I'm too scared. The wedding's in 5 months. We have the venue booked, the invitations are printing, my dress fitting next week. And Travis is in the middle of the best season of his career. How can I be pregnant right now?" "Hey," Kylie said softly. "Breathe. You don't know for sure yet. But if you are, Travis loves you." Smiling face with hearts, kiss mark, August 11th, 2025, 8:21. It might be surprising timing, but it wouldn't be a disaster. Taylor looked down, whispering, "We haven't even talked about kids yet." "Not seriously. I'm not ready." Kylie's gaze softened. "Do you want me to go get you a test?" Taylor's eyes filled again, relief mixing with fear. "Would you? I can't go myself. Someone would recognize me, and it would be everywhere before I even knew." Kylie squeezed her hand. "Of course." 30 minutes later, Kylie was back with a plain brown bag from CVS. Taylor took it with trembling hands and disappeared into the bathroom. The next 5 minutes felt like a lifetime. When she finally stepped out, her face was pale, tears streaming down. She was holding the test. Positive. Oh my God, Taylor whispered, her voice cracking. Oh my God, Kylie, it's positive. I'm pregnant. Kylie pulled her into a hug as Taylor broke down completely, her body shaking with sobs. Fear, shock, uncertainty, all pouring out at once. What am I going to do? Taylor cried. How am I going to tell Travis? What if he's not ready? What if this ruins everything? Kylie held her tighter. He loves you, Taylor. Whatever happens, he loves you. But you can't keep this to yourself forever. You need to tell him soon. Taylor nodded weakly, still clutching the test like it might disappear if she let go. I know. I just need a little time to process first. I need to figure out how I feel before I can handle how he feels. Kylie brushed a tear from her cheek. Then start with someone who'll listen. Maybe Donna. Taylor blinked. Donna? Kylie nodded. She loves you like a daughter, and she knows Travis better than anyone. Taylor hesitated, her heart racing. Do you think she'd be upset? No, Kylie said softly. I think she'd understand. And that night, after Travis came home from practice, completely unaware that everything in their world had just shifted, Taylor stared at her phone for almost an hour before typing a message she'd never imagined sending. Hi, Donna. Can we meet for coffee tomorrow morning? I really need to talk. Donna's reply came almost instantly. Of course, sweetheart Redheart. Taylor locked her phone, her hand trembling, unaware that by this time tomorrow, one conversation would change everything she thought she knew about love, family, and timing. The morning sunlight hit the edge of the marble counter, and Taylor just stood there, holding that small white stick in her trembling hand. The world around her went silent. No music, no heartbeat, just the sound of her own breathing, fast, shallow, scared. She looked at the tiny screen, at that faint second line slowly appearing like a whisper she wasn't ready to hear. Positive. It was positive. Her knees weakened, and she leaned against the counter, whispering to herself, no way, this can't be real. But deep down, she knew it was. Every sign, every sleepless night, every feeling, it all made sense now. She wasn't just tired. She wasn't just emotional. She was pregnant. She covered her mouth as tears welled up, but they weren't just tears of fear. There was something else there, something softer, a strange kind of warmth. Because this wasn't a scandal or a headline. This was life, and it was growing inside her. Her phone buzzed. Hey, babe. Just landed. Be home soon. Miss you. It was Travis. She stared at his message for a long time, her thumb hovering over the screen. How could she tell him? The man whose world revolved around football, locker rooms, bright lights, and roaring crowds. How would he react to something so delicate, so private, so fragile? She paced the kitchen floor, back and forth, her mind spinning. She imagined his face when she told him, that wide, goofy smile turning into shock, then maybe joy, or maybe confusion. What if he wasn't ready? What if she wasn't ready? Her assistant knocked softly. Taylor? You're due at rehearsal in an hour. She blinked. Reality came rushing back. She had a show. Fans waiting. Cameras. Nothing had changed, and yet everything had.